Hello, everyone. This is a SPY recap that we had on today. And as you can see, um, this was an opportunity for someone to make some pretty decent money on today. Now, if you were to look at the pre-market, the low for SPY was about 389, and it pushed up and it broke above right here of 396 right here near the opening, and it ran up. Now what you see on my charts here, more so on my 30-minute, I'm going to take it down to 1 day, 15 minutes, so you can see a little bit more of what was going on here. So we had a drop here in pre-market around 4 a.m. and we had a push up, and so we see that there was a higher low. They said lower low, but technically not really. But needless to say, this was more of a lower low than that was to me. Um, Nonetheless, we see that SPY shot straight up in the air. It broke from that resistance that was holding around about 395.7, and it just literally broke above that little in the pre-market, pulled back just a tad, and then it ran and broke through. And here you see a little window here. How this is set up, in my opinion, now, is that if this were to have broken to below this red line here, then we probably would have been set for puts for X amount of the time today. But instead, it broke above this number here, and some people would have said, "Well, I'm going to see if it's going to go here at 398, or I'm just going to play it in the middle right here." They might have could have got here at 397 from the open, just scalp that with X amount of contracts, but it got here and it just ran. Now you can see here it was going to lose a little bit of momentum, but it was a slight pullback. But again, one thing we must pay attention to is the higher low. And that is very important when you are dealing with trends, when you're trying to figure out, is this going to keep running? It increases the probability that it can keep going. None of us really know exactly what a stock is going to do. We have a probability of what that stock is going to do. So we got a higher low here. It didn't break below this. And some people may have gotten worried that it went from 402 to 400. And for SPY, that's a reasonable drop if you were trying to see, was it going to keep running. Now, what some people probably use for their target is what happened a while back. And let me show you. We do 10 days. Some people, and y'all don't pay any attention, that's just all my little jibber jabber. They may have paid attention to the fact that when it got to 400 the last time, it pulled back and it completely filled that gap and went right back to it. So a lot of people may have used that as a target, especially when it ran up 389 this morning, then went to 395 and on up. And they use that as a target. So it going to 402.65 was honestly, that was just the icing on the cake with the cherry on top. But you could have got trapped here for a little while. Just to say, oh, it's going to keep running. But let's always think about this. Let's say you entered at the open and you were just seeing what it was going to do. If it was going to go here and say, well, I'm going to pull back. But it didn't. And you held it from here to maybe here. Or even here. Or even here. Think about that. From 395 to 400. It's 5 points. Most people would have said, last time this got in this area, it pulled back. It surprised a lot of folks. It stayed above the trend line. It stayed above the moving average that I have set up here. And it kept going. But true to, memory, it still pulled back. And then it said, but I'm not done yet. There was a little bit of sellers here, but not enough. You can see the momentum was still pretty strong. It didn't go down here and correct. It didn't go here and correct. It stayed in the area. And it ran up even more. Once it got here, it really did run out of steam. And it pulled back. Now, it's different on this screen versus it is on that screen. So we're going to pause it here, and I'm going to come back because I have an interruption.